and GeneratorX, I want to go over a couple of the basic settings that you're going to see on our AutoX Bot and our GeneratorX. It's basically how I do my configurations, what I look for, and what I do to be able to put all my settings in, and what they all mean basically. So this is all going to be new to you. I mean, obviously NinjaTrader is going to be new to you. How we do our orders are going to be are new to you. And I know you see some of our screenshots and some of Jat's recordings, but all of our platforms are kind of new to you. And some of it's familiar. You kind of know what this is. You know that this is your GAN lines, this is your mid GAN level, and everything else is kind of new, right? So it's pretty simple. This is just simply the chart. You're able to move it around just like you are in TradingView, and you're going to start seeing our signals. This is what AutoX Bot looks for to be able to take a trade. So for example, bullish shift is actually TS buy label. Anything before this underscore, that's the label that AutoX Bot and Generator need to be able to actually make sense of what you want to do. So let's just say, for example, that I want to get in on a bullish shift and I want a positive delta. So if I want that to happen, then what I need to do is I need to know what I'm looking for. So what is this? Delta buy, everything under the underscore. Before that underscore, that's what it's going to read, okay? So I want to see a TS buy label, and I want to see a delta buy because I want to see some positive delta, some force coming into the market. You know, we just broke through this mid-level here, pulled back a little bit, held it. Now we're breaking back through again. We're holding that EMA cloud. We're pushing through that EMA cloud, and we're now supporting this GAN level right here. Markets are going up. ETM signals are going up. We're really kind of getting out of some of that chop. We're holding it. So, hey, the market looks good. So what does this all mean now exactly? Let's start with AutoX Bot. So you could either do a market order or you could do a limit order. I choose to do a limit order because if you do market order, it's going to get you in whatever the best price is going to get you. When things are starting to move in the market, when you get a shift and you start to see some positive delta, these candles can get really big really quickly, and you can just get whatever price the market gives you. But if you go and get yourself a limit order and I do a couple of tick offset, what that's going to do is, let's say that I want to get in exactly at 23,776.25. But what it's going to do is it's going to actually pull back a couple of ticks, and it's going to get me in at a slightly better price. And it just means it's going to give you a decent price. You know, sometimes when you get into a trade and you're already 3, 4, 5 ticks in the negative before you've even begun, but nothing really has dropped, that's because you just got a really bad entry. You got in at the very top of the entry. This lets you get in, let it pull back a little bit, and then do a continuation of that move. It's just going to kind of protect you in getting into the best move possible, okay? This is your buy. This is your sell. These are your targets. So typically I'll do 2 targets. And let's say, for example, for here, we want to do 2 contracts for a take profit 1 at, let's just say, 25 ticks. And I'm going to do a 3rd contract at take profit 2 at 30 ticks. I'm going to do a 50 tick stop loss. You can have as many as you want to, up to 6, I believe, right now. But you have to have something in here. So that means you're going to get an error unless you put some kind of a number in there. It cannot be 0. Okay? We can enable exit management. This is an incredible thing right here. So on Signal, what that means is, let's just say that I want to try to protect as much of my profit as possible. Let's say I get on this bullish shift and it rides its way up. So let's say we had some positive delta, and you're not going to see delta until you're trading live in the market. You're going to see all the tags, but you won't see the delta unless you're actively trading forward on replay or the live market, okay? Unless you enable tick replay, but this is just works for now. But let's just say that we get it on the bullish shift. The market comes up and it goes and it goes, but now it drops here and it gives you a bear shift. I could say get out at that TS sell label and say, all right, if I get this TSL label, I want to go ahead and get out of the trade. Like I want to protect my profit. This could drop and come back all the way back and give up everything that it just made from the very beginning here. And I don't want to take that risk. So you could either get out on a reverse order. You can get out on a negative delta node if you choose to. Let's say if you see any negative delta come in, you can get out of that if you want to. You can also trail your stop loss if you want to. So you can say, okay, I want to do a 20 tick trail, and I'm going to initiate that at, say, 10 ticks. So we can start trailing once we see 10 ticks, and we're going to start trailing at 20 ticks in profit. So as you get to 20 ticks in profit, you're going to start getting yourself in a trailing stop loss. So you can do it on either way. It's a pretty cool feature to just to be able to give you as many options as you possibly want to. to be able to protect that profit, especially in a funded account or anything with a trailing drawdown. You want to be able to protect your profit. You don't want to get into $1,000 profit. It pulls back $500. Great, you've made $500, but according to that prop firm, you've actually lost $500. You don't want to do that. Okay, custom buttons. These are really amazing because we could do things like we can enable a break even button if we want to, right? Or we could say, I want to go ahead and do a manual entry if I want to. This is what the colors, you can customize the colors, but I leave this by default if you choose to. So you could add all these buttons down here. You're going to be able to take and add these custom buttons as you go along if you choose to. Okay, really, really cool. I love the way that that works. Absolutely love it. Okay. And there's just so many different choices. I mean, you could literally do time block. This is where you're able to get in. So you can say that the market begins at, say, 9:45 in the morning, and we want to stop at, let's say, 11:55 in the morning because we don't want to get in any of the consolidation that happens during lunchtime. And then you can add a second time block that gets you in at, say, 1:45 in the afternoon, and then it gets you out at 3:30 before that, like, power hour when everything can go crazy. So this is just an amazing, amazing feature. I absolutely love the fact that we could do so many different things with this bot right here. It's so amazing. So yeah, I absolutely love how you can do this. So we're going to go through this quickly a little bit here. Data boxes, this is that little box that's in the corner of the chart that you see on any of our screenshots. And what that typically has on mine, you could choose its dimensions, how wide it is, how thick the lines are, what color it is. I leave mine with all, but you can make it any color you want to, as wide as you want to. So that's pretty cool. You could add your position, your P&L, and I like to have my computer status to see if I'm having too many charts over. I'm starting to kind of really wear down my computer a little bit. I like having my profit and loss, see how well the strategy and the bot's doing. So I like to kind of leave everything checked because it just works perfectly fine for me, okay? Account management. This is something that is really incredible because, again, if you want to protect your profits and you want to be able to lock in some of the funds, you can do it in several ways here. You can, if you choose to, say that I want to enable my max profit restriction. So I want to say if I make $300, I'm done for the day. I want to get out of trading. And once you're into a trade, once your trade is closed and you're above $300.01, it's going to stop trading. It will not let you take any more trades from that point on. Or if I lose more than $200, then once you've lost more than $201, it's going to get you out of it, and you're no longer going to be able to take any more trades. And the thing I like about it is enable max trade restriction. So let's just say no matter what happens, let's see I get 2 wins and a loss. I'm a little bit in profit, but I quite haven't gotten where I wanted to get to because of my strategy. But I also don't want to overtrade as well too. I know that sometimes overtrading, sometimes you can start making really good money. You might win 3, 4 trades back to back, but then on your 7th, 8th, 9th trade, you could lose 3 trades in a row just because of statistics, how the numbers go. So typically you could do 3, 4 trades, whatever you do, and it will give you a counter, and that'll show up in the data box to say that, okay, you've taken your first trade, your second, after your third trade, it's going to say you can no longer trade anymore because you reached your max trade restriction limit, okay? Presets, this is going to be the really cool thing because honestly, this is what I use pretty much, okay? I'm going to say that if I want to load my presets, I'm going to load the one that I have for GeneratorX because it's got now the master signals in here, and I kind of tweaked my settings a little bit here, and that's what I look for. These are my presets that I use for my trading, okay? Now let's look at GeneratorX real quickly, okay? Cool thing about this is that you're now able to start seeing so much information about what's happening here in the market, okay? So what this is doing for you is you're doing your condition. Master Signal 1, which you now see Master Signal 1, which is called my TS buy label, which as you've seen before is this right here, this bullish shift signal, TS buy label. And what it's going to say is that's our entry signal. That's our like plot. That's the thing that kicks off generator into looking for stuff. And then I put and, but you can also do or. So if you want to add an additional, say, I want to go ahead and say that I want to get into a bullish shift or a bullish continuation, you could always then add a third condition there and then say I want to get into this TS buy label or I want to get into the continuation and then I want to go do my delta buy and then I want to enable my within filter on this last part of it within the last three bars or on that same bar. You could also do ahead as well too and say that I just want to make sure that if I see any kind of a positive delta and I get my bullish shift. I'm happy. Let's go ahead and get into a trade. So we'll actually try that. We'll go and do that. And the unique thing is it has to be on the chart. So let's say that if you type it in wrong, you add an extra L to it, it's going to be red now. So if you mistype it, you have to type it incorrectly and it'll show up green, and it has to be on the chart. Now, typically you're going to see these plots here on the chart, but you have to have market playing to be able to see this delta node. You see how it says delta buy because you see it on the chart and it's in green. But now when you look down here for my short side, we haven't seen any negative delta yet. So it's going to show up in red, even though it's spelled correctly and it's typed correctly. And this is not case sensitive, but we just haven't seen it on the chart yet. And that's perfectly fine. So then we're going to go into match signal 2. We're going to do TSL label, which is the bullish or the bearish shift. And I wanted to see some negative delta because I don't want to get faked out, because this had a bearish shift because it did break the EMA cloud, but it didn't continue. So there was really no delta behind this move. See, there's no delta behind this move neither because we kind of held the profit wave. Really wasn't a lot of, delta going around here. So that's why this is a really powerful tool, because you could make this as complicated and as in depth as you possibly want to. But as it sits right now, though, on my master signal 2, I have TSL label and I want to see my delta sell within. And then we're going to go ahead and do ahead, same bar, and behind. And then you hit apply conditions. When that's green, we know that those are working properly. Now that we have AutoX Bot up and running, we've applied the settings just to verify that's good. We're going to turn longs on. We're going to turn shorts on. We're going to play and see if it can start taking any trades. And then what you're going to start seeing is the yellow box that says master signal 1, which we know is our buy signal. We can do master signal 2. That's going to be our sell signal. But we can even then go further and say that, okay, but on my exit conditions, I want to see not only a bearish shift, but let's say I want to see a bearish shift and or one of these little MFI signals right here. These are kind of powerful too. That just lets you know that money flows dropped in this bar below 50 while this bar was printing. That's all that means right here. So this would have taken a trade if we were a little bit earlier in this when we were setting it up, because because we have it configured, we've got a bullish signal and we've got a bullish or positive delta node, it would have taken that. So now if we start to break this level because we kind of peaked out here, if price comes and starts peaking through here and it breaks this cloud and we've gotten a negative delta node and a bearish shift signal within the last 3 candles, you're going to see the master signal 2 then print, and you're going to start seeing how all these things come together. The cool thing is you've got your box right here, because we only have right now just set up for our exit signals right here because those are plotted on the screen. But now our master signals haven't been found yet. Why? Because it's not plotted on the screen yet. So that's why we haven't seen that as found yet. Once you start seeing your first master signal 1 and your master signal 2 print, then you're going to be able to see exactly these things print on your screen. You're going to see what's going on. So we'll speed things up a little bit, see if we can't get either another bullish shift signal, or we can see some more delta come in here and possibly get into a trade. So okay, jumping back in the video now, you see how we now got our master signal 1 now, because we've got some bullish shift signals because we've been kind of bouncing in the profit wave a little bit. And now we've also been getting some positive delta. We've been jumping back and forth a little bit here, but we've got enough positive delta and that shift signal to be able to say, yeah, we can go and take that trade now and get into it. So that's how AutoX is going to be looking for your master signal 1 from GeneratorX, because it caught your TS bullish shift signal, TS buy label, and we've had some positive delta either on 3 candles before or after that signal is printed. Pretty cool, huh? And then the same thing for reverse. When it goes to the short side, it's going to read all these conditions. When all these conditions are met and settings applied is green, it's going to look exactly for what you tell it to look for. Unlimited customization, guys. Have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Let's get everybody in here. We'll be launching soon and get you guys going on this. Thank you. Have a great night.